YouTube, what's going on? It's Chris Baker, Flight School. Welcome. Just doing a video off the fly. This is a stimulus package update. I'm reading from my notes, as you can see. $1,400. People are wondering when are they going to get the money. This is an update for that. So just keeping everybody up to speed on what's going on in Congress right now. A lot of the work is going on the House side. The Senate side is tied up with the impeachment trial. So on the House side. So why is it taking so long? The Republicans are proposing amendments to the bill that keep getting rejected by the Democrats. So for one, we got it's four things. Redirecting funds to roads and bridges in rural communities. So, you know, a lot of Republicans are in rural areas and not big metropolitan cities. So they want to redirect funds from the metropolitan cities to the rural areas in America. But I think that got rejected by House Democrats. Number two, Republicans want to redirect funds to FEMA disaster relief for vaccine distribution. So I think the House Democrats have similar language in the bill. So, but it was rejected because they already have language that addresses that. So, number three, vaccine distribution to rural areas in the United States. So, just like in number one, they are wanting to distribute vaccine to rural areas rather than metropolitan areas where Democrats are heavily situated. And number four, assisting workers impacted by the Keystone Pipeline. So the Keystone Pipeline was shut down, and for lack of a better word, and Republicans want people who were affected by the Keystone Pipeline shutdown to be compensated or have assistance for. So that was rejected. So in other words, or in shorter terms, there's a lot of bickering going on between Republicans and Democrats. As for me, I am neither a Democrat nor a Republican, so don't worry about that. I'm just American, Black American, and I'm just giving an update on the stimulus package. So, with all the bickering going on, and excuse me from reading my notes, it's just a big game of politics, basically. So, what do people care about? People care about the stimulus checks. So, who's going to get them? So, essentially, everybody in a family is going to get a stimulus check. So, that's like the adults, children in some kind of way, adult children, like college students. But as of now, everything is TBD, to be determined. A lot is going on in the House right now, and a lot of things are up in the air. Okay, so how would checks be distributed? So if you made more in 2020 than you did in 19, I would say go ahead and try to hold off on doing your taxes. Try to hold off as much as possible. But if you made less in 2020, I would say go ahead and file your taxes as fast as possible. Go ahead and get everything on the books, get it filed, so when they do cut the checks, you will go ahead and get your stimulus package or stimulus check. All right, how much will the checks be? Right now, they are $1,400, and if you make $75,000 or less, you'll get that for an individual, 112.5 for a head of household, and if you're a couple, they cap it at $150,000. Child tax credit. So if you have children, if you have one child, that credit goes from $2,000 to $3,000, and just keep in mind that this hasn't passed yet, but that's what they're proposing. So before it was $2,000 per child, now it's going to be $3,000 if it passes, and that's for children 6 to 17. Now, if you have a child that's under 6, that's going to be $3,600. So if you have a child that's 6 to 17, it's $3,000. If you have a child that's under 6, it's going to be $3,600. So now what they have is a child care dependent tax credit. and it's different than the regular child tax credit. For this one, if you have your kids in daycare or you have some expenses related to child care up to $8,000, you'll get half of that back. So you'll get $4,000 in a tax credit for one child. If you have two or more children and you've expended $16,000 in child care or just expenses over the 2020 year, then you get a $8,000 tax credit. So for one child, it's $4,000 credit, but you have to expend $8,000 in child care or child expenses. If you have two or more kids, you have to expend $16,000 in child care or child expenses, and you get an $8,000 credit. Hope that's clear. It's a little muddy, but again, it has to pass in the House for it to go through. Unemployment benefits, they're going to be extended to September, and starting in March, they're going to be bumped up from $300 to $400. So again, it has to pass in the House and the Senate for it to go through, but that's what they're proposing right now. Also, Democrats are proposing a increased COVID testing, Medicare funding, and all this is still being negotiated right now, but we'll see. So the major thing that's going on right now that's causing all the holdup is the $15 minimum wage requirement. And Republicans are strictly against that. Democrats are proposing that. There's a lot of fighting in the Congress right now. But TBD, to be determined if it passes or not. I think Joe Biden is against the $15 minimum wage because he thinks it's unlikely to pass in both chambers of the House. So we'll see. So essentially, that is the update. I'll keep doing these. If you have any questions, just let me know. Make a comment. Also, subscribe to the channel, please. Make a like or a comment. I know I just said that, but this is just a quick video. Anyway, take care. It's your boy, C Bake, Flight School. Don't get left behind. Cheers.